Welcome to week 2 of season 2 of the VGC Casters Cup. I'm Jake, the captain of the 5-move Volcaronas, and this week we're going to face off against Juancho. He's a TCG caster that does a lot of our North American events, but he is from the Philippines, so he is the Filipino Fennekins. Again, I love getting to interact with some of our other game casters in this league. We got Phoebe last week and Juancho this week. We'll get some VG casters down the line too, but we're mixing up all the games here. This is week number 2. I got the nice win against Phoebe last week, so we're off to a good start. Last season, I did win week 1 and then lost week 2, so I'm hoping to flip that around this time and get a 2-0 start to the season. If we look at Juancho's team, it is giving the Psy-spammiest of Psy-spams. He's got the Malin DD alongside Iron Crown and Delphox and Executor. So the goal of this team is just to overwhelm you with this psychic offense. It's also backed up by the Urshifu Single Strike and the Cornerstone Ogerpon. This is a pretty scary team offensively, and so I have to kind of take into account the fact that I'm going to be seeing probably 2, if not 3, Expanding Force users, while also being threatened by this Urshifu and the Cornerstone. So this is what we put together for week number 2. First up is Qian Pao. The dark typing here is so good, especially when you combine it with the Expert Belt and Throat Chop. I really wanted the more consistent dark type damage. Of course, the Psychic Terrain is up. Sucker Punch will fail because the Psychic Terrain blocks priority attacks. So I really want to Throat Chop here. And Ice Spinner was my ice move of choice because Ice Spinner will remove terrains. I think that might be a huge piece of kind of firepower that I have in this matchup, is the ability to just turn off Psychic Terrain. I don't have a terrain setter. I don't have an automatic terrain setter like a Rillaboom or any other terrain setters. It's kind of just Rillaboom, isn't it? But I do have 2 Pokemon with Ice Spinner, and if I can leverage that, it not only makes Expending Force a single target attack, it lowers the power a lot, it allows me to use Sucker Punch, it kind of forces the Indeedee out and back in if Juancho wants to train back up, so I think Ice Spinner is going to be really important, and it is great coverage. Rhydon and Cornerstone both get hit very hard by it, Executor as well, and it's just kind of a standard moveset for the Qian Pao. I wanted Focus Sash. I think Focus Sash is really good here. Unfortunately, I think Gengar wants it a little bit more, and so Gengar does have the Focus Sash, and I did go with the Expert Belt, just to give me a little bit more damage against something like Iron Crown. Throat Chop will most likely KO without the Expert Belt, but if Juancho is giving it a little bit more bulk, then the Expert Belt will finish it off. Same with Rhydon. Ice Spinner will 2-hit KO Rhydon more consistently with the Expert Belt, whereas without it, Rhydon's actually pretty bulky with the Eviolite. So if he does bring that, which I don't really see happening, it's just a little bit more insurance there. Again, I really wanted the Focus Sash, but I think Gengar is just a little bit more needy in this matchup, and Expert Belt was kind of just... I considered so many things. I considered Babiri Berry, so I could survive a Tachyon Cutter from Iron Crown, which is possible. It only weakens the power of the first hit, unfortunately, because it is a kind of 2-hit move. So the first hit gets halved, and the second hit is full power. You can still survive a timid Tachyon Cutter, and I only care about surviving the timid one because if it's modest, I'll be faster. If it's timid, it's probably booster speed. It will outspeed me and attack first. But I just went with Terra Water instead. I was Terra Ghost with the Babiri Berry. Without it, I went Water so I could resist the Tachyon Cutter. Also nice that it resists Heat Wave from Delphox. If I have Qian Pao in against Delphox, if that's the Psychic user of choice, I can Terra Water to survive a Fire-type move there. So went with Water on Qian Pao. Farigiraf. I think Farigiraf will be really good here as well, especially if I can keep it away from the Urshifu. But even if I do have it in on the Urshifu, I am Terra Fairy for the defense. I am Dazzling Gleam, as you'll see. And I went with a more offensive option in Throat Spray this time. One of my main goals looking at this team is actually to get Trick Room up and then start attacking with Farigiraf and Hariyama. Looking at Juancho's team, the combination of Farigiraf Hariyama is really good offensively, especially considering some of the coverage options that both of them have. For Farigiraf specifically, I thought Throat Spray was a good way to get that offense going. Hyper Voice is very strong against this team. There's only a couple things that resist, and those things that do resist get taken care of by Hariyama pretty well. Expanding Force will be able to take advantage of Juancho's own Psychic Terrain. Maybe not the most useful here, because he does have a lot of Psychic resists, because he does have all these Psychic types. But in some situations, Expanding Force could be really good. And of course, Dazzling Gleam will hit Urshifu single strike. Should one-hit KO it after they throw it spray. We'll look that up in between now and when we start. That might be enough for a KO with the Terra Fairy, or even with that, I don't know. Urshifu single strike is not the best on the special defense side, but I just wanted to make sure I would be able to hit it for big damage, especially if I do get Terra Fairy. It's another bit of spread damage there. Sap Sipper. I almost skipped over that. I am Sap Sipper. Looking at Wancho's team, there's like no priority here. Maybe Sucker Punch from Urshifu, maybe Gale Wings attack from Fletchender. But with Psychic Terrain most likely being up a lot of the time anyway, I thought Arbor Tail didn't really matter. And Sap Sipper gives me a way to sit the Farigiraf in front of Exeggutor very, very easily. Not only that, but if I have my Trick Room mode up, I have Farigiraf and I have Hariyama. Sap Sipper makes it immune to Sleep Powder. Hariyama is Guts Flame Orb, so it will be immune to Sleep Powder after the Flame Orb activates. And so I have my two like Trick Room Sweepers are immune to the slow Exeggutor that can possibly put them to sleep, so I thought Sap Sipper was the right call here. Down to Hariyama, of course I did kind of give it away. It is the Flame Orb Guts set. I went with Terra Psychic, not the most common, but considering the types of moves that will be thrown at Hariyama, I really wanted a Psychic Resist here and not just neutral. So my options were they Psychic and Steel, and maybe that's it off the top of my head. What resists Psychic? Dark is immune, obviously, but Dark and Steel are both weak to fighting. And so if I have Hariyama in against Urshifu, the most likely attack Urshifu will use into Hariyama is Close Combat. And so if I go Terra Psychic, I will also resist that while resisting the Expanding Forces. It is a little risky, because if the Urshifu is using Wicked Blow for whatever reason, I could get caught by that. But otherwise, I thought Psychic was great here. My moves here are Close Combat, Headlong Rush, and Knockoff. No Fake Out. Again, Psychic Terrain is going to be ruining that a lot of the time, so I didn't want to deal with having potentially losing a turn with Hariyama. Close Combat is obvious. It's very, very strong. Hits a lot of these Pokemon for super effective or neutral damage. Headlong Rush is kind of specifically for, I guess, for both Iron Crown and Delphox. Both of those are weak to Ground type, also weak to Knockoff, but I thought Headlong Rush being a little bit stronger than Knockoff would be nice for the damage. Of course, Knockoff is still there to hit Psychic types. It's nice for utility as well. And then Detect to ensure that Hariyama isn't going to get hit by an Expanding Force if it's on the field out of Trick Room. Specifically Detect over Protect. A lot of the times that's not very impactful. In this case, Indeedee does learn Imprison. It's kind of a common attack on Indeedee, especially on teams like this that don't really want Trick Room set up. So if Indeedee has Imprison and Protect, I can still protect the Hariyama with Detect in this case. Down to Dragonite. I've been using Iron Crown myself a good amount, and one thing that always gives me a lot of trouble is Terra Steel Dragonite. And so I opted to use that myself this week. With the Assault Vest, it'll be able to take on these Psychic-type Pokemon pretty well. Again, with the Terra Steel, it hard walls something like Iron Crown or Exeggutor or Indeedee. Of course, the Delphox is able to hit it with those Fire-type attacks, so I do have to be a little bit careful if Wancho brings the Delphox, but Steel, in general, is pretty good here. Also gives you a really, really strong matchup into the Cornerstone Ogerpon. It also makes you a little bit weaker to Urshifu, but if the Terra Steel is in the right position, I think it's going to be really good. With the Assault Vest, in the Terra Steel, I can't use the Flying-type Terra Blast anymore. I did want to use Aerial Ace. I wanted Flying-type damage for Urshifu and Exeggutor. It looks really good, kind of in general here as well. Stomping Tantrum was a no-brainer. It gives you a way to hit the Iron Crown, what the Terra Steel is kind of meant to counter. Another Ice Spinner, again, just to remove those Psychic Terrains if possible. Can be really, really annoying for a team like Wancho's if the Psychic Terrain isn't up. And of course, Extreme Speed. Both of my Ice Spinner Pokemon also have priority attacks, so if I am able to use Ice Spinner, get rid of the terrain, I can then threaten an Extreme Speed with Dragonite as well, which could be pretty useful. And of course, Multiscale here. No reason for Inner Focus. Again, no Intimidates, no Fake Outs coming out from Wancho. And if I ever face against a team that has no Intimidate, no Fake Out, I think it's pretty obvious that Multiscale is going to be better. Maybe against like a Rock Slide spam team, I'll still want Inner Focus, but Multiscale is just so good, especially combined with Assault Vest. It gives Dragonite so much bulk. Down to Gengar here. Like I said earlier, we are running the Focus Sash on the Gengar. As much as I wanted it on Chien-Pao, Gengar does need it a little bit more. We are Terra Fairy. Can be nice defensively, of course, with Focus Sash. You don't really need your defensive Terra too often, but it also just pairs well with Dazzling Gleam. It gives me another strong spread move with the same type attack bonus if I do go for Terrestrialization. I know for a fact Gengar does just one-hit KO most Urshifu single strikes, unless they're very bulky or like Assault Vest or they Terra or something. So having that faster than Urshifu and able to one-hit KO it feels very useful. Urshifu can just be a really annoying Pokemon in general. We all know that. We all play Regulation F and have to face a bunch of Urshifus. So having the Dazzling Gleam there to hit it for its double weakness is really nice. Shadow Ball felt obvious. There's so many Psychic types once again. One of them is immune. Of course, Indeedee with the normal typing can't be hit by Shadow Ball, but Gengar in on Delphox or Exeggutor or Iron Crown will be able to hit them pretty hard with that Shadow Ball. And I went with Icy Wind here. Gives Pokemon like Dragonite a little bit more agency. A lot of these Pokemon are slightly faster than Dragonite. With an Icy Wind, it will be able to attack first. Gengar is tied for speed with Cornerstone Ogerpon, but faster than the rest of Wancho's team. I do think that's one slight weakness of his team, is that it is on the slower end, and so it can be abused a little bit by something like an Icy Wind. So if I am bringing Gengar to games, I'm going to be looking to use that Icy Wind to set up something like Dragonite. If something is, Choice Scarfed, if the Iron Crown is the Speed Booster, Booster Energy set, the Focus Sash and Icy Wind will allow Gengar to bring it back down a little bit. So I think this is the best option for Gengar here. Finally, we got Ditto. Ditto makes an appearance. Again, there's like really powerful Pokemon on Wancho's team here. And I think Ditto will give me a nice way to have something that can swap into Expanding Force. Any of the Expanding Force users are resist Expanding Force themselves, so if I really need something to swap in, I can use Ditto for that. Probably only once. It has very low HP, and that's the only stat that it doesn't copy. So if I do have to take an Expanding Force on the swap, I would probably need to be a little bit careful with it on the back end. But I did go for Psychic Terra for that reason. I'm thinking if I get Ditto in, it's probably copying an Expanding Force user, and if that's the case, I can go for Psychic Terra to have those extra powered Expanding Forces. On the flip side, kind of the same logic as Hariyama, there's a lot of Pokemon that are using Psychic attacks on Wancho's team that I can then use my own Psychic Terra to resist. So let's say I copy, I don't know, Cornerstone Ogerpon. But then I Terrestrialize my Ditto, and it's a Psychic type, and then I'm going to be resisting those Expanding Forces, so could come in pretty handy, I think. And that's the squad. I guess Ditto, I mean, obviously Imposter, there's not really much to talk about on the screen, because Ditto has one attack and one usable ability. So yeah, that's the squad. I think this will be a little bit tough. I think I can get overwhelmed by offense if I'm not too careful. I think leads are going to be very important. I think if I get Trick Room up and Hariyama with the Flame Orb going, I probably win, but it might not be super easy to get that to happen. Again, Indeedee could be running the in Trick Room in Prison set itself, so I have to watch out for that. I think Fergraph overall will be very good, but we'll just have to see. Time for the battle. All right, here we go. Let's get started. Send over our Terras. All right, just sent him mine. He's got Indeedee, Iron Crown, Urshifu, Delphox, Cornerstone, Suicune. Yeah, all tracks. Let's see the Terras. Indeedee, Psychic, Iron Crown, Fairy, Urshifu, Poison, Delphox, Fairy, Ogerpon, Rock, Suicune, Grass. Okay. So let's see. I think this is probably my best bet. With Ogerpon there, I'm more hesitant about Dragonite. Maybe it's Ditto. Ditto actually could be really good here. But this is tough. I just want to make sure I'm not getting caught out by whatever he throws at me immediately. I think this is right. Hariyama in the back, and then I kind of like Gengar, actually. The Shadow Ball's nice there. Chinpao, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try to get Trick Room up as quick as I can. What would stop that from happening? Something like Imprison. Urshifu Lead would be not great for that. I think that means I probably... Let's see what this booster is. Special attack. Okay. So Chien-Pao's faster. I feel like Wancho is going to go straight for like Tachyon Cutter and Wicked Blow. And maybe even Trastalize the Iron Crown. I didn't consider that. That's... Okay. I'm gonna go straight for Ice Spinner into Urshifu, and I'm kind of okay sacking Gengar here. I'm expecting the Wicked Blow Tachyon Cutter play. And this third slot was kind of my sacrificial slot anyway. I also get to see if the Iron Crown Terras. I'm pretty sure it's going to immediately here. Yeah, that makes sense. So the Throat Chop would have been heavily resisted. If he does double the Gengar here, I feel fine. Ice Spinner should do a decent amount to Urshifu. This is the one situation where I do kind of wish I had Sacred Sword. But because it did more than half, I'm totally fine with this. Wicked Blow brings Gengar down to Sash. Good to know Urshifu is faster than Iron Crown too. That could have been difficult. Life Orb. Life Orb makes sense. Tachyon Cutter. Great. Okay, I can bring Farigiraf back in very easily here. Chien-Pao will be able to knock out the Urshifu before I can Wicked Blow, which means I don't need to Terastallize Farigiraf. So now I'm in a much better position, I think. So I get to... I'm just going to Ice Spinner again. I need to make sure Urshifu goes down. And I'm going to set up the Trick Room so that hopefully Hariyama and Farigiraf can win a couple turns from now. Ideally, the Hariyama, or the Iron Crown just goes for Tachyon Cutter into Chien-Pao as well. That would kind of be sick. Because then I could get Hariyama in for free. That's going to be the only tough part, is getting Hariyama in. I do have to wait a turn for the Flame Orb to activate. But even before Flame Orb activates, I can do some good damage here. Detect on Urshifu, that's fine. Ice Spinner will come out. This actually means I can just like Hyper Voice next turn. Tachyon Cutter. Okay, I'm totally fine with this. I bring Hariyama in. I'll be able to go for Hyper Voice with Farigiraf and probably just protect my Hariyama in this next turn. Hyper Voice will either knock out Urshifu or get some damage on whatever comes in. And then do some decent chunk to the Iron Crown. I know I kind of hinged my whole game on like this working immediately. But I'm glad that turn 1 paid off. I'm trying to think. I think I do need to detect. I need the extra damage from the Guts to be able to KO Iron Crown here, I'm pretty sure. I'm just going to Hyper Voice. Because again, that should just knock out Urshifu. Iron Crown can't do a ton to Farigiraf. And this will allow me to kind of swing fully on the next couple turns. A DD has come out, so I'm guessing this is a Expanding Force coming. Don't mind that, because I did detect. And now I'll get the Hyper Voice off. Depending on how much Hyper Voice does to the Indeedee, might be able to get away with an Expanding Force next turn. Ugh. It's probably not enough. I'm almost definitely going to have to Terastallize the Hariyama this coming turn. Yeah. This is fine though. Expanding Force won't do a ton to Farigiraf. I am pretty heavily invested in special defense, yeah. So do get the burn here. I am certainly Terastallizing here. I think I just go for Headlong Rush into Iron Crown. No, I'm going to knock off the Indeedee and Expanding Force. I wouldn't mind knowing what Indeedee's item is. And I don't necessarily want to lower my special defense here either. Because even though I am Terraslazing into Psychic, I'd rather Hariyama not take as much damage from Expanding Force, if possible, and not using Headlong Rush to lower my defenses accomplishes that. Crown protects, that's fine. This is why I brought Expanding Force on Frigoraph, this exact situation, because now I'm at +1, I'm threatening this Expanding Force in terrain. It's going to be really nice. And DD goes down to the knockoff. Is Focus Sash. Okay. Great to know. And Expanding Force comes through. So now we find either the Urshifu or Wancho's 4th Pokemon. There's still 3 turns of Trick Room left. And there's only 2, isn't it? Ooh. Depending on how he plays this Urshifu, could be a little difficult here. What is this? Cornerstone. That's fine though. I can just go straight for Expanding Force again. Yeah. I will Expanding Force and... This is tough. I would like to catch the Urshifu on the swap if I can. And to do that I need to go for... No, I can't risk it. Okay. Oh, this is great. This is great, this is great. Especially if this KO's Crown. Okay. That's okay. Is it okay? I actually don't know if this is okay. Oh, maybe I needed a KO Crown there. I think there's only 1 turn of Trick Room left. Because what has Frigoraph done? I think it's attacked 3 times. Shoot. He just double protects here, and then I'm pretty sure I lose. Unfortunately. I really don't see how I can get out of this one, unfortunately. I needed 1 more turn of Trick Room. He just protects both, and then Trick Room expires, and then like Taki and Cutter Wicked Blow ends the game. Darn. Okay. It's good to know none of these Pokemon are either Choice Scarf or like speed boosting. That's really important. That means that Gengar and Chien-Pao can do a lot more work. If I had 1 more turn of Trick Room here, this would be a lot better. What could I have done differently? If I had KO'd Crown that turn... No, I needed to target the Cornerstone too. I needed that Expanding Force to KO Crown. If that happens, I'm fine. But unfortunately, that is not what happened. I don't think there's any point in trying to call anything here. Yeah, Wicked Blow. Enough for a knockout. And then... yeah, Expanding Force. Totally fine. Alright, we'll go down game 1. Launcher got me there. Now how do we regroup for game number 2? I do think the Trick Room mode is still really good, but knowing that he's got Protect on everything, of course, makes it a little bit more difficult. So that kind of makes me want to not bring it and go like Chien-Pao, Gengar, Dragonite, Ditto instead. I think I'm going to do that exactly. Chien-Pao, Gengar lead with Ditto and Dragonite in the back. Unfortunately, I think he's pretty well equipped to handle Trick Room. If I had gotten one more turn of attacking with Hariyama, I think that maybe was the answer. Yeah, because I detected that one turn. Maybe if I got more done on that turn instead of going for detect, I would have had a little bit more room to wiggle there, but I do think he just managed the trick room really well. Throwing protect on everything is really smart. I mean, they normally would run it anyway. In my head, I was thinking maybe something was choice, like maybe choice scarf and DD, maybe choice band Urshifu or something like that, but knowing that they're both, you know, Sash and DD, like for Urshifu, that makes a lot of sense. Just knowing you have that flexibility to protect if I do get Trick Room up. So we can Urshifu lead. Not what I would have expected, but I don't really mind it. Maybe I do. I'm a little scared of what this Suicune's gonna do. If it Tailwinds or like Icy Winds, that could be bad. I think this is just my best play though. Let's get some damage out first. If for some reason he doesn't protect or Terra the Urshifu, it just gets knocked out, which could be nice. But we'll see. Oh! Okay. This should KO? Work. That's really good. Urshifu is scary. That is very, very good. Citrus Suicune makes a lot of sense. It's very bulky. Can take some hits pretty well. Guessing this is like Tailwind or Icy Wind. Yeah, Tailwind makes sense here. To see what he brings in here. I'm guessing in DD or Crown. I'm willing to bet he's still got one or both of those. Crown. Yeah, so this is why I'm glad I have Ditto. Ditto switches into Iron Crown super well. Like very, very well. So I'll be able to switch in here. I'm definitely switching it in for Chimp. I have to switch in for Chien-Pao if I want Ditto to turn into it. But I want to swap that slot out anyway, because I do not have a Focus Sash on Chien-Pao, and I do on Gengar. But I'm still going to protect anyway, just to give myself a little bit more time. That doesn't, the no protect on Urshifu is really big there. That just allowed me to knock it out immediately. Urshifu and Tailwind is a lot scarier than Iron Crown and Tailwind, because I can't protect on Urshifu. Ditto will come in. It's going to copy the Iron Crown. We'll get my own little Iron Crown here, because Imposter always copies what's in front of it. The nice part is I get to see Iron Crown's full set. Of course, I saw Expanding Force and Attacking Cutter and Protect, but I don't know the third move just yet. It will Terrastalize here, take away that Ghost weakness, also makes a lot of sense, but thankfully that does make it weak to Tachyon Cutter. So there's a possibility I get to kind of abuse that right off the bat. Gengar protects itself. Again, I don't really want to give up a knockout just yet. Expanding Force into Gengar. It is just single target because Psychic Terrain isn't up, so there's no damage into the Crown. We get the Scald also into Gengar. Lovely turn. Love that turn. He knows the Gengar's Sash, so it makes sense he wants to get rid of it immediately. Just Terra Blast. So he's got the Terra Fairy into Dragonite or Hariyama, or even Chien-Pao, but you're going to Tachyon Cutter that. I'm just going to go straight for Tachyon Cutter. With Gengar, I'm just going to go for a Shadow Ball into Suicune and get some more damage. If he does protect Crown, which does happen here, that's fine, because I will get the Shadow Ball off. Scald will not do much at all. Burn is a little unfortunate, but I'm pretty certain I'm going to be able to survive an attack from Iron Crown and Suicune next turn anyway, which will allow me to take out this Iron Crown with the Tachyon Cutter. I actually, though, I'm considering doubling this Suicune here, because I want to make sure it's going to be able to be knocked out before it can set up another Tailwind. It's got one more turn. I think I can afford to go for Tachyon Cutter into Crown here. I'm going to Shadow Ball the Suicune though. I really want to make sure he doesn't get another Tailwind up. Expanding Force, double resisted, thankfully. And because he's doubling the Crown here, he's not going to be able to damage Gengar, like break the Focus Sash even. That's huge. I get to keep my Focus Sash this turn. Shadow Ball should KO Suicune next turn, which is great. I get to go for an attack and cutter here. This is a slow Iron Crown. Iron Choice Scarf ditto, right? I did that correctly? Yeah. I'm just realizing this Iron Crown's very slow because even my Choice Scarf ditto is outspeeding my Gengar. This is a great spot though. This Tachyon Cutter should be able to knock out the Iron Crown. And then Shadow Ball should knock out Suicune. I don't know if there's much recourse here. Shadow Ball will hit the Suicune. Is enough for the knockout, so I should be able to get Wancho down to his final Pokemon here, which is fantastic. Second Cutter does come through. Ditto putting a lot of work here. The Urshifu knockout on turn 1 was pivotal because that allowed me to just kind of become Iron Crown and take over the game. Knowing that Wancho's Iron Crown really cannot hit itself for neutral damage is really good. I can very easily swap my Ditto into Iron Crown, and that's going to make this game a lot easier, or make game 3 a lot easier. Excuse me. Ogerpon comes in. I'm trying to think if I want to try and... No, I'm not gonna do anything fancy here. I'm just gonna attack it. I'm not gonna reveal Icy Wind either. Just go for some Shadow Balls. Okay, good to know this Ogerpon is max Jolly. Ogerpon and Gengar are both base 110. I am max Timid on Gengar. So now, because it attacked first, I know that it has max speed investment as well. So that is really, really good to know. And because Chien-Pao is going to attack first, I don't get the chance to win a speed tie to give away to Wancho that it is a speed tie. So like right now, I know it's a speed tie for a fact. Wancho probably suspects it, but there's no way he can know for sure unless Gengar outspeeds Ogerpon. But because Chien-Pao's attacking first, that's just not going to happen, which is great. I do get the knockout, take us into a game number 3. That was a lot better. A little bit surprised how much better that was. I do think the Trick Room mode is still really good, and I'm tempted to go back to it. It's interesting he didn't bring the Indeedee. I guess he saw the Hyper Voice expanding force on my Farigiraf and thought that maybe that was a little bit too scary to go for, which makes sense. Because Farigiraf was in a very good position. If I had like one more turn of Trick Room, it would have been great. It's tough though. I really like this Trick Room mode, but that Ditto did so well too. Man. This is tough. Gengar is also very good. Just being able to threaten the Urshifu immediately with Dazzling Gleam is great. What is it? Terra Poison? Do I have anything that can abuse the Terra Poison? Farigiraf. Or even my own Ditto. Like... this feels like a really good play to me. He's been leading the Urshifu in that slot both games. So if I have Ditto on my left side, it'll be in front of the Urshifu. And if I have Urshifu Gengar, that's a really threatening starting pair. I really like this because if one of these goes down, I can bring in Dragonite. I can Ice Spinner the Terrain away if he brought that. And that sets up Chien-Pao to get some big Sucker Punches off. This is a little bit of a risky lead. I don't necessarily love that I did this, but too late now. Okay, I got the Urshifu. That's great. This is great. Now the question is, does he Terastallize the Urshifu right off the bat? I don't know. Wicked Blow, Sucker Punch, Close Combat. Yeah. I kind of want to just go for Wicked Blow straight into Urshifu. And like... Dazzling Gleam? Or do I Close Combat? No, I don't think I Close Combat. I'm gonna Wicked Blow and Shadow Ball this Suicune, actually. There's no way he lets me Dazzling Gleam, yeah. I like this play a lot. I guess I'm good damage on both. By forcing him to Terra the Urshifu, he's made it neutral to Wicked Blow, which is great. This means my own Wicked Blow will do a lot more damage here. Yeah, that's great. I considered Shadow Balling that slot. I really wanted to. I value the damage on Suicune instead, and I think that's fine. He does get to close combat, which knocks out my Ditto. I think that's fine. I think that's okay. Because now I can bring in Shanpao, and if he didn't bring Indeedee again, it's very much in Sucker Punch range. The Tailwind going up isn't amazing, but it's not the worst thing either. This is hard. I'm gonna Dragonite. I really want to save Shanpao for later on. I think Extreme Speed definitely picks up the KO because he did go for the close combat. Do I think he didn't bring Indeedee again? I think yes. I'm gonna wager that he didn't. And maybe he thinks I didn't use it, like, pack Extreme Speed because of the terrain or something too. Like, there's a chance he's not expecting it. I don't want to psych myself out of what could be a KO here. I'm just gonna go for it. The Suicune has only shown Scald and Tailwind. Okay, that's fine. Got the Shadow Ball damage on Suicune. He does know I have Extreme Speed now, so it's a little bit less potent. That's really smart, Snarl, yeah. I was a little bit scared of that. Snarl breaks the Sash and Multiscale, which isn't great. Lowers Gengar's special attack. I am going to go straight for Extreme Speed again. If he does have Indeedee, I'm kind of just cooked regardless. And I'm going to swap Gengar out. I think I need... I think I need it to be at max special attack here. Especially because if he's going... Like, let's say he has Indeedee and swaps it into Suicune. My Extreme Speed gets blocked. The Chien-Pao is the one taking the Wicked Blow. Urshifu swaps out instead, so this could be okay. Iron Crown. Alright. This is good, actually. Hopefully he snarls again. Another snarl would be great. He definitely doesn't have Indeedee then. There's no way he's got Indeedee. Because if he did, I would have... he would have swapped that in here instead. Get some chip damage on the Iron Crown. That's fine, I guess. No Ice Beam. That's great. No burn, please. Okay. Okay. Last turn of Tailwind, right? Yeah. Might be time for me to Terra the Dragonite. Oh no, actually Terra Water's really good here. I'm gonna Aerial Ace the Suicune for a little bit of chip damage. I need to make sure Tailwind doesn't go back up. And to do that, this is have a nice way to get a little bit of chip damage in. It does eat its Citrus Berry, but I should be able to like Throat Chop, Extreme Speed it next turn. Attacking Cutter to protect, that's fine. Hoping for no Ice Beam still. Oh, lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, next turn. What do? I almost certainly just... Oh, that did more than I thought. That's great. I'm definitely just Extreme Speed Throat Chopping the Suicune, right? Like, that. It seems silly to do anything else. That just guarantees Trick Room doesn't go up. Or Tailwind, rather, doesn't go up. And Terra Water will be really good here, because if he does go for Tacky and Cutter, I'll be able to just drop that weakness immediately. Let's see. Yeah, I just Extreme Speed, Terra Water, Throat Chop. That's it. That's it. That's just it. I'm trying to think how this goes wrong. If he like, this would be a crazy play. If he expanding forces my Chin Pal this turn, you got me. That's fine. This is a last minute Terror Water switch right before I recorded, and I'm very glad I did it. Coming in very handy here. He didn't protect, that's okay. I'm just gonna get the KO and Suicune here. Hoping he did Tachyon Cutter into the Iron Crown. That's the best case here. Yeah, cool. Still does a good chunk thanks to the, what's it called? Booster Energy, Cork Drive. Ogerpon comes in. So now, this is still not over. I think what my best play is to Extreme Speed Ogerpon to break its Sturdy, and then I can threaten Ice Spinner and Stomping Tantrum into the Iron Crown. I think that's what I gotta do, because right? I don't know if there's like a better option here. I really want that Sturdy broken so I can threaten like a knockout. Or Enrage, yeah. How much do I think this Throat Chop will do? That's the question. I know he's maxed Rally, so he probably doesn't have a whole lot of HP investment. I'm definitely tantruming the Iron Crown. Do I think he protects the Ogerpon? That's the question. Do I just go for the Throat Chop? Do I think I might KO? I don't think I'm willing to risk that. Tantrum, Iron Crown. I think I Ice Spinner. If he... Yeah, that's fine. It's not fine, but it has to be fine. Shoot. I could have called that. I really wanted to, because he does get to knock out. Yeah, that doesn't do enough. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I need Gengar to outspeed. This might just come down to a speed tie, and I don't like that, but... Oh. What could I have done differently there? I would have... I wonder if the safer play was Throat Chopping the Crown and like Aerial Acing the Ogerpon or something? Ugh. I actually don't know how I win this anymore. I Aerial Ace my Dazzling Gleam, and I hope Gengar outspeeds and KOs Iron Crown. That's just it. Okay. No! Shoot. Oh, I threw that. I threw that so hard. Did I throw it? I don't know if I had a guaranteed win there. I don't know. I really don't know. Did I have a guaranteed win that turn? Or at all, in any, like in some sequence. I wanted to do something about that spiky shield, but I didn't have enough time to like think about a safe way to account for both spiky shield and an attack. Yeah, I don't know. One shot got me good. The Cornerstone Ogerpon was more of a problem than I considered. I think when I was building this team, I had tunnel vision on all the psychic types, and I was like, oh, that's scary. And then just didn't really take into account the Cornerstone. The Sturdy's a problem. It being Max Jolly was a problem because it meant Gengar wasn't as safe. If Gengar's Sash wasn't broken there, I maybe win that, but even then, I'm not sure. Yeah, I can't really think of the exact correct plays I could have done there. I guess maybe like calling the Poison Terra. I thought about doing that too, but that felt too risky. I could have preserved Ditto a bit better, I guess. I was excited to get the Urshifu copied immediately, but didn't really think more than that current turn ahead, so I don't know, could have done a lot differently in that match, but GG's to Wancho, the winner of this match here. I beat him in the regular season of last season of the Castro's Cup, so gets a little bit of revenge here. So good games. 1-1 again to start the season. Not what I really would have wanted, but bounced back last season. I know I can do it again. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next week.